Ladies and gentlemen, baby faces, and all my true heel heats out there, I am Mr. Richie Moon. And before we get today's Raw review, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for the latest and greatest in all of wrestling news as we are on our way to 1K. And Monday Night Raw opened up with our returning WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre, cutting a great promo. What I really liked about this promo is that he was honest, he was fiery, and something that Raw really needs, he brought credibility back. But of course, this wouldn't be an opening segment on Monday Night Raw if he didn't get interrupted. So Goldberg came down there, they had their face-to-face. I still don't know why Goldberg's angry. He should be angry at Randy Orton, but that's nor here nor there. And of course, The Miz and Morrison obnoxiously interrupted. And for interrupting, they got a spear and the Claymore kick, and that's the go home angle for Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg. And next up, we had one of 3 Charlotte Flair segments. I mean, whatever. Let's just get into it. So at first, it was a very anticipated match between Charlotte Flair and Shayna Baszler, which, if Triple H could have had this down in NXT, oh my gosh, could you imagine what they could have done? But we're here on Monday Night Raw. So seemingly 44 seconds into the match, when Charlotte Flair is about to slap on the figure 8, Nia Jax come in there for a disqualifications, and then Lacey Evans come down there, and then Mandy Rose come down there, and then Dana Brooks come down there, and of course, player, we got ourselves a 6-woman tag team match. Now, this match was interesting for many of reasons. Of course, if you're a true wrestling fan, you've seen this coming from 2 miles away, and because there was a couple of botches in it. Let's break it down, shall we? First off, there was an accidental count out, and then the not Raw general manager Adam Pearce had to come out there and restart the match. And then to end the match, it was a very scary powerbomb chokeslam spot that Nia Jax does. And reading the reports after, Dana Brooke did not suffer a concussion or anything like that, but sheesh, that was a really rough bump. And, we all know that wrestling isn't ballerina, but Nia Jax has a extensive history with, unfortunately, hurting her opponents. Just when you thought we were done with the Omni Flare, no, we weren't done. I mean, let's take a second. Let's think about this. Charlotte Flair has 3 storylines going on simultaneously. She's entering the Royal Rumble. She's one half of the tag team champions with Asuka. And now she's in the storyline with Lacey Evans, because Lacey Evans is banging her dad. And you thought we were done? We weren't done, because she walked backstage and she's seen her dad showing Lacey Evans a wrestling move where he was really behind her, really looked like they was in a precarious situation. Those two started bickering back and forth. Next thing you know, boom, women's rights. Lacey Evans clocks her clean. I always give Retribution a lot of crap, but I just really wish WWE would have just done this right from the beginning with Retribution. It would have established them, and it would have been an incredible threat. So next up, we have Slapjack versus Xavier. And for a change, Xavier actually wins, but then Retribution comes for the beatdown in a really good piece of storytelling, something that they're tying on, something they should have just done right from the jump. Ali says to Xavier Woods after they beat them down, "Tell Kofi that I'm taking his place in the Royal Rumble." Just, come on. Give this man a mic. He's turning this chicken shit into chicken salad, okay? So R-Truth is funny, but this skit is... R-Truth is funny in small increments. When they keep throwing him out there, then this is not funny. So let's run this down. So we had a very unfunny back and forth with Matt Riddle backstage. And then he interrupted MVP in the VIP lounge. And then he got himself into a Royal Rumble qualifying match with AJ Styles that lasted about a minute. It just wasn't funny. It just wasn't. So thankfully, Sheamus is doing some of his best work in the WWE because Sheamus and John Morrison had the match of the night. This was, you can watch WWE back in 2011 and then fast forward back to 2021, you really wouldn't be able to tell a difference. And that's actually a compliment to these two, because these two were just putting it down, hard-hitting, really good TV match, and The Miz did not interrupt. Sheamus just pulled this out with a bro kick, and then after that, we got a 2-1 match with with The Miz and John Morrison versus Sheamus, and he couldn't overcome the odds. The Miz closed out the match with a skull-crushing finale. Next up on Monday Night Raw, we had Matt Riddle running the gauntlet with the Hurt Business. Now, here's the only issue with this. I think about 2 weeks ago, Bobby Lashley beat Matt Riddle clean as a whistle in the middle of the ring, put him in a hurt lock, and tapped him out. So, we've already had this match, but we're going to run this again. So, Matt Riddle gets through MVP and Shelton Benjamin quite easily. When he gets to Cedric, it's really Cedric Alexander's arrogance and the infighting that he's having with his tag team partner and MVP that really caused him to lose. And then after the match, Riddle's on the stage celebrating what it seemed for like 20 minutes. Bobby Lashley finally came down there, attacked him, put him in a hurt lock. And honestly, I'm just ready for this feud to end. I don't get it. Bobby Lashley has already beat Matt Riddle clean. What more does he have to prove? We need some more contenders for Bobby Lashley to go through. Matt Riddle should feud with somebody else. I don't know. Let's see how this turns out. Oh, on this day, we had Edge come back and he cut a pre-recorded backstage promo and he declared himself for the Royal Rumble. He said this year is different from last year's Royal Rumble. One, because we have no audience. One, because we know he's coming. And two, we have no idea. Well, we didn't know last year, but we don't know where this is going. I'm predicting, putting on a prediction hat, that it is going to be, we're going to see another stare down with Randy Orton and Edge, and this is somehow going to get intertwined with Randy Orton got going on with The Fiend. Let's just see where this goes. Event, it was pretty much the same thing as the main event of last week. Listen, if you like the theatrics, if you like the spooky stuff, if you like the supernatural stuff, you're going to really like Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. If you don't, you don't. Here were some of my issues with it. I don't really mind the supernatural stuff because that has been going on with the character as part of their storyline. My only issue with it is, one of my issues with it is that in the middle of it, well, first off, the first issue is to go into an ad break. Alexa Bliss was just randomly riding a rocking chair, not a rocking chair, a wooden horse in the middle of the ring, and it came out of nowhere, and then when we came back, it was gone. Okay. And then in the middle of the match, what I thought was some good acting work by Alexa Bliss, she reverted to her old character and her old music hit, and then she was back in her old outfit and she was crying. Here's the only issue with that. Alexa Bliss was a dastardly heel before. I don't get it. Like, she went back to just being a heel? If anything, this version of Alexa Bliss is better because, yeah, she may have an evil presence to her, but the old Alexa Bliss was just straight up mean, just a straight up mean girl. So there was really nothing sympathetic about the old Alexa Bliss character, but then she turned into the Fiend, and I'm all down for her. But WWE, just go full throttle with it. Give her half a mask. Give her something, because black lipstick and a black outfit is just really not cutting it, because she gets into her Sheen mode. She's not selling anything. Asuka scared her ass, and right before she's about to hit the Sister Abigail to take the WWE Women's Championship from Asuka, Randy Orton comes in the ring. Boom! RKO out of nowhere. Wasn't really out of nowhere. We see the stand behind the book to further this storyline. How is The Fiend going to respond to this? When is The Fiend coming back? Is The Fiend going to come back? Is it going to be a new version of The Fiend? Are we going to see a full Sheen Fiend team up? Who knows? But that was your go home episode for Raw. And just to be quite frankly, this episode was horrible. It's really bad. Monday Night Raw is really bad. It's starting to reminiscent of WCW 2000. But with that being said, I'm Mr. Richie Moon. This has been my Raw review. Once again, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for the latest and greatest in wrestling wrestling news as we are on our way to 1K. That has been True Heel Heat Wrestling. I am Richie Moon. Peace, love, and light. Boom! Until next week.